हाँ हो रहा है ना, तो स्टार्ट करो। सप्तषी स्टार्ट कर। So good morning respected sir and everyone, one and all. Today I am going to deliver a short speech on the occasion of World Alzheimer's Day on behalf of the Divisional Railway Hospital Malda Health and Family Welfare. So first I am coming to the learning objectives that will be discussed today. That is initially I will discuss regarding the introduction, the what is the Alzheimer's disease and what is the pathophysiology and what is the signs and symptoms, etc. Next I will discuss in brief from how the word Alzheimer's disease has come. This is the origin of the Alzheimer's disease. Next we will discuss about the incidence of the Alzheimer's disease. It is quite common. Next we will discuss the etiology, the predisposing factor, that is the factors which make persons more prone to develop this disease. Next I will discuss the pathophysiology. Next I will discuss the signs, symptoms and the diagnosis, mainly the clinical diagnosis as well as the psychological and the some investigation that will help to diagnose the disease. Next I will discuss in brief the management and the caregiving of the persons, because it is basically an irreversible disease, a damage of the nerve of the brain. So the person become gradually crippled, so the caregiving is of utmost important for this patient suffering from the Alzheimer's disease. Now coming to the introduction, it is, as I have discussed, the Alzheimer's disease, it is a degenerative brain disorder and the cause of this disorder is not known, and it is the most common form of dementia, usually seen with the advancement of age beyond the past 50 or past 60, and it will result in the loss of short term memory, the loss of memory, loss of judgment, loss of initiation, personality, mood. So all these things, the higher function will be gradually hampered day by day with this development of the disease. And there is a degeneration of the brain neurons, especially in the cerebral cortex, and the hallmarks of this disease is the formation of the neurofibrillary tangles, that is the beta amyloid protein and the tau protein that is developed, that is seen if autopsy is done in the of this patient. Now coming to the origin of the Alzheimer's disease, the disease was first discovered by Dr. Alois Alzheimer in 1906. He had a patient named Auguste D who developed mental illness around her 50 years of age, and initially it was diagnosed as some mental illness, but after her death autopsy was done and in her brain there was found neurofibrillary tangles, and then Dr. Alois Alzheimer coined the disease, the Alzheimer's disease, and the disease was coined as per his name in 1906. Next coming to the meaning, the Alzheimer's disease, it is basically a chronic irreversible disease, develops gradually day by day, not a single day, and once, as we know, the nerve cell and the is one of the important sensitive cell of our body. If damage happens to the nerve cell, the damage cannot be reversed to its previous condition. So it is a chronic irreversible disease, and mainly the cells of the brain is affected in this disease, and it will hamper our intellectual functioning. So gradually it destroys this ability of the reason, remember and imagine and learning process. So all this higher functional is gradually crippled day by day if the patient is having the disease. Now this is just a coronal section of comparison between the brain of a normal person and the brain of a person with Alzheimer's disease. So here is the brain is a normal cerebral sulcus and gyrus. In the Alzheimer's disease there is a diffuse cerebral atrophy and the sulci becomes more prominent, and as there is a cerebral cortex atrophy, the brain ventricle becomes dilated in patients with Alzheimer's disease. So next is coming to the incidence of the Alzheimer's disease. The incidence of this disease is quite common. About 3% of men and women develop this disease to some extent beyond the age of 65 to 74 years of age, and if the age is increased, that is the beyond age of 85, nearly half, that is the 50% of patients develop this disease. So it is a really very common in our society, and as per the recent literature, about 3,60,000 new cases of Alzheimer's disease is diagnosed in each year. Now coming to the causes, as we have discussed, it is idiopathic, mainly the cause of this Alzheimer's disease is not known. However, several factors are thought behind the disease process. There are some neurological factors. Among the multiple neurological factors, the most important neurological factor, that is the acetylcholine. It has been shown that this patient with Alzheimer's disease, the acetylcholine level in the brain diminished. So the mainstay of treatment is the centrally acting anticholinesterase inhibitor, that is the tacrine, donepezil, galantamine, rivastigmine, that I will discuss later on, and some other neurological factor, that somatostatin, substance P, norepinephrine, all are responsible for development of this disease. Now there are obviously some environmental factor, as the environmental pollution is increasing day by day, cigarette smoking, certain infection, metals and industrial toxins, and the cholesterol lowering agents, the statin group of drug is responsible for causing the Alzheimer's disease. The mechanism I will discuss in the next slide. The oxidized LDL receptor 1 and the angiotensin 1 converting enzyme tied in the brain called apolipoprotein E4 and reduce the buildup of harmful proteins. Definitely the harmful proteins gets accumulated inside the brain and develop this Alzheimer's disease. Now coming to the risk factor, that is the factors or the condition which makes the persons more prone to development of this disease. First is the Down syndrome, the trisomy 21st chromosome. Definitely these patients with Down syndrome are mentally retarded from the childhood, and they develop early onsets of this Alzheimer's disease. There is a short-term memory loss, dementia, loss of thought process, intellectual function and cognitive function. Now the family history is one of the important predisposing factor. If the senior family members develop this disease, the chance of development of this disease in subsequent progeny increases. Chronic high blood pressure is also a predisposing factor on increased high development of the blood pressure. Definitely it causes the atrophy, destruction of the brain of the cerebral cortex and development of this early development of this disease compared to the normal person. Now head injury definitely is destruction, or there is cerebral concussion or some cerebral damage, definitely it will development of the early onset of this disease compared to the normal person. Gender male are more prone to develop this disease, and smoking, drinking, all these factors help in development of the early onset of this Alzheimer's disease. So now coming to the pathophysiology, it mainly this attacks the nerve and brain cells as well as the neurotransmitter. There is a decreased amount of acetylcholine in the brain in this disease. So destruction of this brain developments of the clump protein around the brain cell called plaque or bundles. This plaque or bundle leads to the by the help of the vicious cycle or positive feedback method, they causes more destruction of the brain interneuronal connection. So the condition becomes gradually worse day by day. So this is just a flow diagram to demonstrate the pathophysiology of this disease. Due to the etiological factor, the smoking, and the environmental factor, the predisposing factor, the family history, and there is a change in the occur in the protein of the nerve cell, and there is a accumulation of the neurofibrillary tangles, that is the hallmark of this disease, and the amyloid plaque, the granulovascular degeneration, and there is a cholinergic nerve cell destruction, and all these things lead to subsequent loss of the memory, the short-term memory, the cognitive function, the thought process and the initiation. This is the in brief the pathophysiology. Now coming to the microscopy, here is the microscopic image of a neurofibrillary triangle, that is the histopathological hallmark of this Alzheimer's disease, and it is developed by the hypophosphorylated tau protein. This is the my left hand side, it is the normal brain neuron, this is the dendrite, this is the cell body, this is the axon, and there is a neuron of the Alzheimer's disease. There is a formation of the neurofibrillary tangles, and outside the neuron there is a amyloid plaque formation. This in the Alzheimer's disease there is a tau protein, and there is a disintegration of the microtubule in the brain. Now coming to the main important part, that is the signs, how the clinician can suspect the patient might have been suffering from the disease, because it is equally important for early diagnosis as the disease is irreversible. So the warning signs, there is a memory loss, initially there will be short-term memory loss, there is a difficulty in performing the familiar tasks, the problem with language and the disorientation regarding time, place, and poor the discrete judgment, thought process becomes hampered. There is a problems with abstract thinking and the misplacing thing. This is commonly happen with in geriatric population, and there is a frequent change of the mood, behavior and change in the personality, and definitely loss of initiative. Now coming to the symptoms of this disease, the confusion, the disturbance, short-term memory, problem with attenuation and spatial orientation, there is a change in the personality, behavior and language difficulty and unexplained mood swing. Now coming to the diagnostic test, these are the all clinical features. Now coming to the diagnostic test, there are array of diagnostic tests that are available in our hand. Some psychiatric assessment, the mental status examination, neurophysiological assessment, and the good gold standard imaging, the PET scan, the CT, MRI and SPECT, CSF examination, all are equally helpful in diagnosis of the disease. This is a image of the PET scan of a brain of a person with Alzheimer's disease, showing the loss of function in the temporal lobe. Now coming to the management, there is a, as I have discussed, there in Alzheimer's disease there is a destruction of the acetylcholine. So the acetylcholine esterase is an enzyme which is responsible for causing destruction of the acetylcholine. So if we inhibit this acetylcholine esterase, so obviously the destruction of the acetylcholine inside the brain will be diminished. So the acetylcholine level will gradually high up. So the centrally acting anticholinesterase inhibitor, the tacrine, donepezil, galantamine, rivastigmine, these are the first line of management of this disease, pharmacological management. Next coming to the NMDA receptor antagonist, N-methyl D-aspartate receptor, and this is the mementamine, and some antidepressant. Definitely the mood swing is one of the part and parcel of the disease. So antidepressant, the anxiolytic, antipsychotic and anticonvulsant, these are subsequent second line management. Obviously psychological intervention forms a mainstay of the treatment, the behavioral approach, the emotional oriented approach, the cognitive approach and the simulation oriented approach. The psychological counseling is also important in this disease. Now coming towards the end of my session, that is the caregiving. Since the disease is a irreversible disease and gradually makes the person unable to perform his day-to-day activities, so these persons obviously need some caregiver, some support from her relatives, from his or her relatives. So caregiving is a very important part. This is also our theme of our this year. Caregiving is definitely necessary for these persons having this Alzheimer's disease. So just towards the summarize the all of the things that I have discussed, the take home message: Alzheimer's disease is a neurodegenerative disorder. There is a destruction of the brain, that there is a cerebral atrophy prominent of the sulci and the dilatation of the ventricle, as I have demonstrated. Next, as it hampers the nerve cell, it is definitely irreversible. So early diagnosis and management helps in the mainstay of the treatment. There is a amyloid protein, the pathophysiological, the neurofibrillary tangles and the tau protein, that also helpful for the diagnosis of the diseases. And then there is the signs and symptoms, there is a dementia, there is a loss of memory, the social adjustment becomes problematic in this disease, and centrally acting anticholinesterase forms the mainstay of the treatment, and psychological support is also an important part. So thank you for your patience sharing.